I said, guys, we didn't come here for no reason.
Hey, my brother, put a smile on your face. Okay? Because Florida State, if we gonna do it then, we do it big. Let's go, baby.
Here's the snap, handoff on the belly dive, and Stevenson's going to try to root his way in. He breaks through, and got the 10, 5, 3, 2 yards, touchdown FSU. Yes, Marty Stevenson, senior playing his final game. I thought he was tackled to the line of scrimmage, root hogging his way, and he broke into daylight, and he scores a touchdown.
If we don't get penalties and we don't get fumbles and we don't get interceptions, we can win the dead-gum ball game.
I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. I said, we strong then.
What are you doing?
Down to the 50, down the sideline to the 40, down to the 30. He separates. He's to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Florida State.
Let's party, Tallahassee.
He's got PK Sam open. He makes the catch. Touchdown, FSU. Touchdown, PK Sam. 55 seconds left. Sam takes a touchdown catch from Richards. 52 yards. 52 yards. Florida State leads 37-34. I see you, PK Sam.
Jump shot, Snare. Good shot. Knowles win. Knowles win. Michael Snare's triple with no time left. Florida State beats Duke 76-73. The little team that could just did.
I said, guys, we didn't come here for no reason.
Hey, my brother, put a smile on your face. Okay? Because Florida State, if we gonna do it then, we do it big. Let's go, baby.
Here's the snap, handoff on the belly dive, and Stevenson's going to try to root his way in. He breaks through, and got the 10, 5, 3, 2 yards, touchdown FSU. Yes, Marty Stevenson, senior playing his final game. I thought he was tackled to the line of scrimmage, root hogging his way, and he broke into daylight, and he scores a touchdown.
If we don't get penalties and we don't get fumbles and we don't get interceptions, we can win the dead-gum ball game.
I said, are you strong? They said, I'm strong if you strong. I said, we strong then.
What are you doing?
Welcome to Double Fries No Slaw. This is a Thanksgiving week edition, previewing UVA, and then we're going to talk some FSU hoops here in a little bit. TJ Pittenger alongside always Freddie Stevenson and Richie Barnes. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing better than Dabo is. I mean, he's been pissed all week, man. But I'm good, man. It's Thanksgiving week. Trying to shed off a few little pounds before I go ham on Thursday, but I'm good.
Yeah, man, I say a lot about outlandish things on Twitter, but I'm definitely having a better week than Dabo in regards to that. And same as Freddie, I'm excited for Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite holidays, probably my favorite one. So definitely looking forward to spending some time with the family later this week.
I'm glad we're getting this show out of the way early. This is going to be a fun next few days. Excited to hang out with you guys this weekend. Excited for Thanksgiving, and we're going to get into some Thanksgiving talk here after we have a couple of guests on. But excited to hang with you guys this weekend. I don't know how excited I am to see this game or not, but excited to see the game, excited to hang with you guys, excited for turkey and hanging out on Thursday. And so going to be a good week. Big 3 roll up Powers, double fries, no slaw. Remember their charity drive that is going on now. You can go to big3rollup.com and you'll see a place to donate to Close to Kids. If you're in the Orlando area, and you can make it by there on December 5th, they are taking in clothes for underprivileged kids. If you've got any clothes, all sizes, because they go, like 5-year-old to 18-year-old. So all sizes of clothes and shoes, if they're not terribly, terribly worn and worn out, something that you would consider given to a family member, not something that you would just throw away. Also, Double Fries No Salt, obviously brought to you and sponsored by Guthrie's, especially in Tallahassee. Visit their 2 locations, 1818 West Tennessee and 2550 North Monroe. We are going to go get us some gut boxes this weekend. So, Freddie, I'm trying to do the same thing. I've run every day this week so far. I guess we're only on Tuesday, so it's only 2 days. But I've run every day so far this week, and I'm trying to be cognizant of the hurting that I'm going to put on my body both Thursday and Saturday with the gut boxes and stuff that we're going to get into. So I feel you on that. But stop by their locations and make sure you tag us on social media when you get their stuff. We'll get right into this. Richie, I'll let you bring him on, but we have Justin Anderson, who is Director of Player Personnel at the University of Virginia for their football team, correct? Big get. Thanks to Richie for getting him on. Richie, I'll let you start us out.
Yeah, very excited for this first guest, Justin Anderson. As far as I'm concerned, Coach Anderson. He played wide receiver and ran track at BYU, worked with Coach Mendenhall at BYU as a grad assistant, and now is the Director of Player Personnel at Virginia, which is a great job because he had the pleasure of being my wide receivers coach, an assistant basketball coach of mine, and my track high jump coach in high school. So he knows he has a great eye for talent. Coach Anderson, how are you doing today?
Good. Wow, that's quite the introduction. Thank you. Make me feel good about myself, man.
Yeah, I was excited. Obviously, last year we had the Rollcast, and we have a lot of different listeners on here. You joined us, and your interview was really well received. A lot of people loved the insight. So first of all, before we get into Florida State, Virginia, and all that, man, what's up with your Cougars this year? They're having a hell of a season.
Hey, we do what we do. Those old guys out there, they're 30-year-olds getting it done.
Yeah. So going into and we'll get into the game in a little bit, but I follow recruiting pretty closely. I remember in your classroom, because you were also taught like 4 of my 5 classes in high school. But your job is heavily based around recruiting, and the NCAA just extended their dead period to April 15th. How difficult is it to recruit right now when you can't have face-to-face interactions and Coach Mendenhall can't actually meet with these kids and their parents? That's got to be a really tough job right now.
Yeah, it's been quite interesting, since this has all happened. There have been some good things that have come from this. I think there have been some things that have come to light with, Zoom is one of those things, how to help recruit. Moving forward, if you have a kid from a long distance, there will be some more ability, potential to do some of this stuff, but it does change the dynamic. Kids want to see what they're getting into. We have a few of the kids that, were lucky enough before the pandemic hit because they live closer. They were able to come by and see the campus, but yeah, this is a unique time. And I think probably everyone's got their own way of doing virtual visits and ways to get their coaches and whatnot on with these kids. And that's really been the focus, is making sure these kids have the things that they need. They've seen what they need to see. They've talked with the people they need to talk to so they can make good decisions, especially the kids that are still trying to decide where they want to go. Right.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
Yeah. And you're kind of, tasked with helping Coach Mendenhall build a roster that's competitive in the ACC. And you guys obviously last year went to the Orange Bowl, which was phenomenal. I was really hoping you guys would beat Florida, but that's okay. But you had a really special guy, Bryce Perkins, man. He was so good, such a good college quarterback. And as a Florida State fan, that doesn't pay much attention. I'm like, man, how do they replace that guy? Now you got a guy named Brennan Armstrong. And the past weeks or so, he's been playing outstanding football, and he's got me worried a little bit as a Florida State fan. Just talk about him, how you guys found him, and how him being healthy has really helped turn around your season.
I think what we've found over time, and just I think everyone knows this, the most important position in football is the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So consistency, Bryce Perkins' first year, he was good, not great. His second year, I thought he was exceptional. And so with Brennan, he's kind of been the understudy. He's been able to sit back and watch. And, we were really excited. He played Duke. He played pretty well. And then Clemson, I thought he played really well. And then, we lost him for a couple games due to concussion, and you lose a little consistency and timing. And to see him come back has been really good. I think we always believed he had really good potential. He's different than Bryce in certain regards. He has a very strong arm, a quick release, and he's a tough runner. He's not the athlete Bryce was. Bryce was he could do things you just, you can't even draw up. Yeah. But Brennan is really smart. He's tough, and I think he's got a good grasp of the offense. And, we found him early on in the process. We recruited him. He was the number one dual threat quarterback in the state of Ohio. Ohio State hadn't offered him at the time, and he committed to Minnesota. And we kind of just kept that relationship open, and I guess he just realized he wanted to be here. We had pretty good relationships and saw what we were doing and decided to flip and come to Virginia, and we're glad that he did. And we really do think he's got a lot of upside, and we're excited to see what these last 3 games kind of hold for him and bring in some consistency. And I think we've got some good young talent and receivers that will be coming up here in the future as well. So that's exciting.
There's been a lot of news in the Florida State world this week, with the whole Dabo and Clemson and all of that mess going on. And I won't make you say anything too crazy just so that Dabo doesn't come for you guys too, like he has for us. But I know Richie kind of asked, about COVID and how difficult that's been in recruiting and stuff like that. But, even in your day-to-day stuff, like, have you guys had any close calls like that, I don't think this is the only situation where somebody's like been on a plane, and then got, found out that it was positive or anything like that. But how difficult is it to balance that juggling act of, how hard things are? How has it affected like travel and meeting with the team and just everything else?
Yeah. So, Coach Mendenhall is really innovative in a lot of ways. So, when this stuff was happening, he was really close with our medical team and research, and we made a conscious decision early on. So we've made some changes in how we meet. We still meet in person, but we've made some changes there. We've done a really good job. Our players have done a phenomenal job. Amazing, of really kind of just making a commitment to, this is going to be a hard few months. And if you really want to play football and you want to play it every week, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And to the credit of our players, our medical staff, our guys have done a great job. So it's changed it. And I think our coaches, Coach Mendenhall, our medical staff, they did a really good job saying, like, here's the research. Here's what we need to do. If we follow these protocols, it's going to protect us moving forward. So if someone does get, COVID, unfortunately, by following these protocols, we're going to protect ourselves and the rest of our team from potentially having an outbreak and or, the contact tracing. And so travel is different. It looks really different. And meetings are different. Practice originally was different. I think it's gotten more normalized. But this has been an interesting year. And we, our first game was canceled against Virginia Tech. We were supposed to play them off the bat. And I remember coming in, and it was a week before the game. Our guys were excited, and our head coach said, "Hey, this is not going to happen." And so, we've had a couple games moved. And thank goodness we've been able to play every game. We have never had to move a game because our guys have had COVID, and so we feel blessed. It's unfortunate. And I think, every team's trying to figure out what their balance is, but our players really have done an exceptional job and really have kind of said, we want to play and we're willing to make the sacrifice, whatever it takes. And so I think that's made a difference, their commitment and willingness to do that.
Yeah. And what makes it tough is everybody's protocols are so different.
Yep.
The ACC has their protocols, but then every school, says like, oh, we're going to,
totally.
Some schools, I don't want to say take more or less seriously, but like different people, different experts are going to tell you different things. Right. And so I think that's part of the issue that came into play this weekend. But if you bring anybody down here with it on a plane, we'll back out of this butt beating so fast. We will just rub another L or right off that schedule. I don't think we won't for a minute. So, all right, Freddie.
Yeah. With this whole COVID deal, it's kind of made everything this year difficult. And usually with these type of issues, you had the spring taken away and then guys didn't get to train in the off season. You worry about guys coming in and having soft tissue injuries. You saw a little bit of that go on the course of the NFL season. But how have y'all been able to be so successful with keeping guys healthy and sustaining that success over the past few weeks? Like y'all made a tremendous leap this season. Early on, y'all started a little slow, but these past few weeks, I've watched the team grow, and guys are healthy for the most part. Like, how have y'all been able to maintain that?
Yeah, once again, I give credit to our strength staff. So our strength coach met with military personnel. He met with other strength coaches and really decided, how are we going to give our guys the best chance over this time when they weren't around us, right? So that was key time. And I think our players, our strength staff did a good job of really keeping our guys maintained. And we worked a lot on injury prevention. We took, they had bands and kettlebells and all kinds of things, whatever access they had. And we created these little packets for our guys, so they could have. And then, there is always that. I think the first few weeks of practice were, guys getting accustomed to that speed of practice. And, I don't know if there's an answer other than our guys have, to their credit, once again, our players committed. They did what they were asked to do. And I think when you do that, anytime your players are willing to do what they're asked to do, it gives them a chance to be prepared. And, we practice really hard, but we've had to make some adjustments too. We've made some changes about how we kind of progressed through fall camp. We made a conscious decision to really take it slow so that we could be healthy going into our first game. And the hope was we could finish the year with enough guys to give us a chance to win all our games. And I think we're in a pretty good situation right now.
I know your last game against Louisville was postponed, but the last time we saw you guys in action, y'all pulled off a major upset against North Carolina. What's the morale for the team heading into the game this week? And how are y'all approaching this week against Florida State? And it's ironic. We had the opportunity to knock them off when they're number 5 in the country. So
yep.
It's a battle of the teams that knocked off UNC. But what's the mindset of the team going into this week?
It's funny because I think we really, we were 1-3 or 1-4, whatever we were. And we really felt like we were better than that. And, Brennan had missed a couple games and we just felt like, man, if he can come back and he can be healthy, we've got a chance to at least compete in all our games. And like I said, the quarterback position is really important when you can have someone that's consistent and is knowledgeable of what you're doing. And that's made a difference. He came in, he played well in the North Carolina game, and our kids believed, they really thought they could win that game and no one gave them a chance. And, Coach Mendenhall is really good at getting guys to just kind of see and understand that you control the outcome. No one else does. And so, winning helps. You win that game and then you get another win and you start to say, wow, we can really turn this season around and make it a really great season. The other thing Coach, I think, does a really great job of is every opponent is, and he's said this since we've been here, there's no one in the ACC that you can take for granted. And if you do, you will get beat. And so while, Florida State's had some losses, they're very capable of beating anyone else in the ACC. And it's just a matter of sometimes the right pieces falling into place. They beat North Carolina, so they're very capable of beating us or anyone else they play. North Carolina is a top 25 team. And so, yeah, we're taking this game as if it's North Carolina or if it's Clemson or whoever it is, that this team is the next opponent and the opponent we need to beat to accomplish our goals. And so that's kind of the way we take it. We're excited. But yeah, I would say we're not looking at these guys like, it's like, we better bring our A game. We better not make any mistakes. Because if we do, we're going to come back home sad.
Yeah, and Coach, I remember even in high school, you would joke with me about how bad Florida State was, even when we weren't this bad. But so it's nice to hear you with the a little more of a coach speak answer. But I know you're being genuine when you say that as well. Obviously, Mike Norvell takes over the program. Willie Taggart fired after 21 games. 21 games after Jimbo Fisher left us, which a lot of fans are still upset about. But in a few years ago, Mike London, he resigned from Virginia. He probably wouldn't have made it. And then Coach Mendenhall came over from BYU, brought you in. How difficult is it to try and I don't want to make assumptions of what the culture was like when Coach London was there, but when a coach is fired or resigns, that players are going to feel a certain way because that's who they trusted. That's who they may have committed to. That's who they played for. How tough of a job is Mike Norvell looking at trying to switch the culture? And how did Bronco Mendenhall do such a great job? Because, I think they were 4-8 the year before you guys came over. Last year, you're in the Orange Bowl. Like you said, this year, Armstrong had an injury, or else you probably have a better record than you do now. He's done a phenomenal job at Virginia. So how did he do that? And what does Mike Norvell have to do to try and have that same success at Florida State?
Yeah, Bronco had taken over BYU when they were kind of going through the ringers. They had 3 losing seasons. And, Coach is very thoughtful. He's very methodical about the decisions he make. And I think at BYU, he made a decision like, this is what we need to do to change the culture. And I think when we got here, I think he kind of felt out what the culture was and got to know the kids. And then once he realized, okay, this is I remember in a meeting, he says, he told us, he's like, it's going to take some time. I hope you guys are ready, speaking to the coaches, but we're going to get this thing turned around. And we didn't know how quickly. I really do feel like it's happened a lot quicker than we originally thought. And that's once again, it's the credit to the kids. That first year was tough. And then we had a couple really key players decide to come back that could have left to the NFL. And, we went 6-7. I think we went to the first bowl game in years. And that was kind of the turning point. And I think kids saw that Coach had said, if you're willing to do these things, and if you'll hang with me, winning's going to happen. And the kids have just continued to believe despite what else has gone on. And yeah, I think you have to be patient. To change a culture does not happen in a year. It took us several. And we're still constantly, that's something you have to constantly work on, is the idea of culture and what you're looking for. So, the administration here has been great. They've been supportive. And I think they believe in Coach's vision. And so I think, Mike has to stay the course, and whatever that is, what he wants and what he sees the culture being, you have to just believe in that, get the players to believe in it, and whoever those players are, get them to stay. And the ones that don't, you just got to, we lost 17 players in the first year or two. And that was a conscious decision to basically say, either you're in or you're out. And we want those guys that want to be in. And once you get those guys that want to be in, that's how the culture changed. And I can specifically remember a team meeting when one of our players stood up and basically said, hey, this is how we do it at Virginia. No, we're not doing that. This is how we're going to do it, move forward. And that was like, man, the light went on. And ever since then, it's been amazing.
Awesome, Coach.
A couple more and we'll wrap up and get you out here. Appreciate you hanging out on Thanksgiving week. I'm sure you did pre-COVID. Are you traveling with the team now? Have they limited that some?
Yeah, so we're basically, coach calls it the only the strong survive. So we basically take our team and our trainers and we rock and roll, and that's just so that we can spread out when we travel. And yeah, so it's a very limited group of people that go. And so yeah, I typically have traveled in the past, but this year it's really just our coaches, our trainers, and that's a limited training staff, some doctors, and then our strength staff, whoever needs to warm them up, and then we just show up ready to go, whoever we're ready to play.
Gotcha. The next time you're in Tallahassee, Double Fries No Slaw is an ode to Guthrie's. I don't know if you're familiar with Guthrie's, if you've had Guthrie's or not.
That
It's basically Zaxby's or Raisin Canes or, one of those, but like better, like the OG. Both of those were born out of Guthrie's. Like people left Guthrie's to, or if you guys, I'm probably Tallahassee before any of these, but like there's some in Auburn, there's one in Atlanta. So there's other places that you could find them, but Guthrie's, a Tallahassee staple. It's literally why we have the name of the podcast, this, and the idea is trash the coleslaw and get double fries. Cause
sounds great. I tell you, I wish I was coming. It's been when I played at BYU, they played Florida State, but I was redshirting that year, so I didn't get to go. So I was really looking forward to going this year, honestly. Historic stadium and yeah, it would have been a great experience. But it is what it is.
Well, the next time, hopefully COVID will be done. Knock on wood, it better be. But the next time, we'll treat you to some Guthrie's the next time.
Hey, sounds great. I'm going to take you up. That sounds
good. Last thing, you mentioned BYU. I know you didn't cross paths with them, I'm sure, but how about Taysom Hill getting the start and the win on Sunday? That was pretty cool, huh?
It was awesome. And if you know Taysom Hill and kind of his journey, he had 4 season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
I honestly, if you know him as a person, you're not surprised and you're super excited because he is a phenomenal person. He's a great leader. I mean, think how many quarterbacks in the NFL are playing special teams, running back, wide receiver, and then you know what? Hey, can you play quarterback this week or for the next 2 weeks and get us a win? I mean, regardless of what people are saying about him being a long-term quarterback or not, to me that says something about who he is.
And Coach, I think there's something about him that Sean Payton would choose to start him over the greatest college quarterback of all time and Jameis Winston right now. What are your thoughts on Jameis and his journey? Obviously, in Tampa Bay, he was good. He just had a turnover problem. I think he's doing the right thing and going to learn under Drew Brees. But just real quick, your thoughts on Jameis Winston?
Yeah, I mean, if you can have success in college, and he was in a pro style offense, which is great. I think it helps moving forward. I think a lot of quarterbacks that are in these, spread offenses that really aren't reading schemes, they do struggle a little bit more when they get to the NFL level. I mean, I think Jameis Winston has proven that he's a winner. And it's like most guys, you just need the right fit. It's the right opportunity. I mean, think of all these quarterbacks, and if they get with the right coach at the right scheme, man, they're successful. And you go to the wrong coach at the wrong scheme, and it's just a disaster. And to me, that's what it's all about. And I think when he gets that opportunity, I think he'll do just fine.
We were all a little salty on Sunday that he didn't get the nod. Apparently, I'm just being honest. I was going to thank God for Sean Payton, making the decision that I wanted on Thursday, but apparently he had told Taysom in the past, you're going to get your shot when he goes down. So it was cool. He did a great job. I mean, the decision paid off for him. So, Coach, we appreciate so much your time.
No
appreciate you hanging out. I know it's a busy week with Thanksgiving and the game and everything else going on, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. Hope you and your family have a wonderful, wonderful holiday. And I'd wish you good luck on Saturday, but you really don't need it. So, appreciate you for your time tonight, man.
Hey, you guys are great. I appreciate you guys having me on, and it's always good to catch up with my man, Richie. You can see what kind of athlete he was, right? Basketball, football, and track.
Sheesh.
that's the kind of athlete we look for nowadays.
I told the guys beforehand they're not allowed to ask you about my 40 time in high school because that might have been embarrassing a little bit to me. But no, Coach, it's great to catch up with you again. And with these wacky ACC schedules, maybe in 8 or 9 years we'll get to do this again because we don't get to play many coastal teams.
I know. I look forward to it, and once again, when I come back down, I expect some Guthries.
Oh, we're taking you out for Guthrie.
We're going.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all and wish you the best of luck and health the rest of this year and holiday season.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, guys.
Justin Anderson, Director of Player Personnel, UVA Football. We're going to go right from him. We'll talk about his interview in just a second, but we have, I'll just say it, FSU legend coming on with us.
Excited for this one.
Former FSU hoop star Trent Forrest. Trent, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, doing so well. Appreciate you for coming and hanging out. I know it's a busy week. I know there's a holiday in there. I know there's a lot going on, but thank you so much for hanging out with us.
No, for sure.
Double fries, no slaw, man. Tell me about it. You've been a Guthrie. You're a Guthrie's fan. Come on. Tell me about this gut box, bro.
Of course.
Always the extra fries, right? Like you trash that coleslaw too.
Extra fries, no coleslaw. Might have to throw an extra piece of toast in there for real.
Let's go. We like to ask the harder hitting questions first.
Yeah.
Freddie, I'll let you start this off. You brought Trent on, so go ahead.
Y'all, I know you're a Tallahassee guy, man. So tell me about growing up in Tallahassee. I know you big around the program. How was the recruiting process for you? Did you always know you were going to go to Florida State, or were there some other schools coming up that had your attention, or did you always?
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of crazy for real. I was like you said, like an hour away from Tallahassee, so I knew Florida State. I mean, just growing up football, that's what you knew if you was close around Florida State. Then also my cousin Amp Lee, he played football there, so he was a running back. So it kind of always ran in my family. And growing up, I was more of a Florida State football fan than basketball, if anything. That was kind of what I got into first. And then just as I got older, kind of started getting good in basketball. And like they recruited me early, but I still kind of wanted to look at other schools. I still didn't know where I was going to go like my 9th and 10th grade year. So, I mean, I was looking at Miami, who else? Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Stanford, just some different schools. And then I got to my junior year, and I mean, they did a good job in the process. So by then I truly knew where I wanted to go. And I know my first 2 years growing up so close and with Florida right up the road too, this is kind of when they were coming off being pretty good, and I was still kind of getting recruited. And I think Billy Donovan was still there. I had just went on a visit up there for a day, and like he was just talking to me, and that was kind of where I wanted to go, because in Florida, that was kind of the main team back then, was them winning the 2 natties. So I knew who they were. So I kind of wanted to get an offer from them. But like the week after I went up there, he quit or whatever, got the new job with the Thunder. So then after that, I knew kind of where I wanted to go after that.
Okay. And I know you said football was the biggest thing. Of course, when everybody hears Florida State football, Florida State, they think about the football team. So coming in, we were this powerhouse. How was it now to see the program how it is now? And then basketball, to be honest, when I came in, it was still growing. It wasn't as big as it is now. So it's crazy to see it flip. Like basketball is the powerhouse, and now football is like we're basketball school now. But tell us about the culture with the basketball team and how y'all were able to turn this program around and turn it into this perennial powerhouse it is now.
Yeah, it really goes to Coach Ham for real. Like when he was recruiting me, he was like, the stuff that's happening now, he literally told me this like 3 years ago. He was like, y'all class, and with the class before us with Bacon and Terrence and Malik, he was like, with these 2 classes, like it really can change like the culture around Florida State. Like he was saying we can win a national title, like all this stuff, like 3 4 years ago. So that's kind of where it just started from. And I mean, all the guys that we had come in, we really believed in Coach Ham, and I mean, we put the work in. So it was just a combination of things: him seeing it in us and just having a vision for where he wanted to go, and then us just kind of buying into it with those two classes, the 2015 class and 2016.
Trent, I want to touch on that a little bit because I don't know if during your recruitment, but definitely among the Florida State fan base, and it wasn't just talk. There were people wondering if Leonard Hamilton should be replaced when you were a senior in high school coming in,
Yeah.
because they had missed the tournament several years. And like you mentioned, he had you, John Isaac, several others committed. He brought in Bacon and Beasley. Shout out Dwayne Bacon, Orlando Magic now, big fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you came into an uncertain situation to where if Florida State had another bad year and missed the tournament, Leonard Hamilton.
I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're fine. But yeah, Leonard Hamilton very well could have lost his job if your freshman year they missed the tournament again. But
yeah.
Shout out to Stan Wilcox and President Thrasher. They believed in Hamilton, and you guys are on an unprecedented run for Florida State.
Yeah.
So what was it like as a recruit hearing that? Hamilton, where other coaches saying he's not going to be there, he's going to get fired, and then to be a part of the turnaround to the greatest 4-year run in Florida State history.
Yeah, nah, it was definitely it was crazy because you would hear this stuff, you would see people talking about, oh, we need to fire him, and being in the practices and coming over and seeing the players, I'm like, y'all ain't seeing what I'm seeing. I've seen especially my senior year when they had Bacon, X, Terrence. I'm like, y'all must y'all don't understand who y'all got in the gym, the players y'all had. So I was like, I mean, y'all, I kind of understood it, but I was just like, it's gonna take time, and they just have to kind of see the team. And then I just knew once we got there that we would kind of be able to put it over the hump a little bit. But no, it was definitely crazy because I mean, I was getting the firsthand look, but I mean, it was over the summer, so some people really didn't get to see that side of it.
Yeah, man. Hey, you just mentioned X, man. I just remember XRM scoring 30 points in the last 4 minutes of the game against Miami. That was nuts.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh, man. But so question as far as fan support. So I was a diehard Florida State basketball fan. I went to Florida State in 2006 with Al Thornton was still there and the Tony Douglas years. And nobody went to games. And it was me and 3 friends going to games.
Yeah.
But I'm watching on TV this year, and every game sold out in the Tuck. Y'all were 63-3 in your last 66 games at the Tucker Center.
Yeah.
How cool was it coming in as a freshman with some solid support, not a lot, but to what you had this year, which was, in my opinion, the greatest home court advantage in all of college basketball?
Yeah, nah, that was crazy as well. I used to talk about it a lot, especially kind of going into my last year. I was just even my first year, we had way more talent than we did my last year.
For sure.
And I was the fans still weren't packing the games. And we had, I mean, Dwayne, we had Jonathan, we had Terrence, X, Ojo. And I'm the only time it's really packed is if we maybe play Duke or Florida. That was the only 2 sold out games. And just now, literally every home game is sold out. It was just crazy. But I mean, it kind of goes back to kind of that change in culture, just changing the atmosphere. And it was also crazy because we wanted to kind of change that too, because like I said, first 2 years, we had pretty good support, but we ended up meeting with some of the Seminole student boosters, trying to find ways to get more people in the game because I mean, we obviously wanted the better crowd and we wanted more people at the game. So, I mean, it was a great time for sure, though.
Yeah.
Trent, what's a lot of great games in your career at Florida State. What was can you pick, I know it's tough, but can you pick one game that you just remember that you think back on, you're it's this game. This is the game, that I'll never forget. I'll always remember.
Yeah.
What stands out?
Louisville.
I was gonna ask about a play, but I think we might all know that one.
Yeah, nah, that one definitely is up there, but I probably would say Gonzaga, even though we lost my junior year. I mean, just everybody knew I had went through basically my toe injury the whole season. So basically kind of playing on one leg and then still just going out and having a really good game, keeping us in the game. and I had a really good game. So I definitely would say that's probably the best game kind of I'll always remember, just because it was the last game of that season, and just it was the last game I had on one leg before I got my surgery.
What we like this too, but what's it feel like to never lose to UF?
Oh no, that's great.
Freddie never lost to UF. I never played anything, so I never lost to UF. So like none of us have ever lost to UF. It's great.
Yeah, nah.
Well, no, and Trent, as I went to school the 4 years that Tebow was at Florida State, so I hate UF, man. So I love guys like you and Freddie that never lost to him.
Yeah, nah, it's great. It's great. And people bring up football. I say, hey, it ain't got nothing to do with me, but come to basketball, different story.
Let's talk to us a little about your journey now. So like, signed with Utah, like what, where are you at right now? Like what are your next steps? What's coming up? Season's about to get started in Tallahassee, but like what's about to happen for you?
Yeah, nah. So right now I'm still home. I actually leave Friday to go out there, and I'll be out there for good. And then, get a couple weeks in before we start training camp, just to get acclimated to everything. And then after that, it's straight into training camp, and then we'll play training camp is December 1st, and then the first game is December 22nd. So kind of hitting the ground running as soon as I get out there.
Did you have I'll ask you this and I'll pass it back off. Did you have a favorite team, or like who's your favorite NBA team like before like this whole process, and like what's that like? Like now that you're kind of like an opponent of whoever that is.
Yeah. I was like, growing up, I really didn't have a favorite team. I was like more of a, I guess, favorite player type of guy. So wherever my favorite player was, that's kind of the team I was pulling for. So like growing up, I was a big T-Mac fan. So when he was with Houston in the last couple of years in Orlando, I was kind of in between those two teams because I was a big fan of his. But now it's definitely going to be crazy because, the guys that you grew up watching, you're now playing. So, and you're going to be on the same court as them. So kind of got to get past that. But at the same time, you got to enjoy it too.
Yeah. Like I know there's a competitor, like you've gone up against just elite, like you've been on the same court as Zion played.
Yeah.
We played as them. It's like you played some of those guys, but like who is the one guy that you're like, man, I cannot wait to be on the court with this guy? Like who is that?
No, it's definitely probably LeBron or maybe KD, one of them two.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the two best players in the league. So, and then obviously LeBron, his whole career kind of speaks for itself. So just being able to see how they play, how they work, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
Trent, and man, how bizarre was it this past March in Greensboro when you guys are warming up on the court, getting ready to play, your first game of the ACC tournament, and then you get pulled off the court. No one really knows what's going on. All these tournaments are getting canceled across the country. And they said it's over, and then they present you guys with the trophy. And this is one of my favorite parts about the team is you guys look pissed off that that's how you were getting presented with the trophy, because I feel like you guys felt you were going to win it. So what was that trophy presentation like? And more importantly, when the tournament was canceled, I will go to my grave calling you guys the 2020 national champions, because you never got that chance. But it's gotta suck, man, that you guys had a team. You would have been either a 1 seed or the top 2 seed and didn't get that chance.
Yeah, it was definitely a little frustrating. Like you said, when they presented us the trophy, like we was literally like asking each other, are we gonna smile or are we not? Because like you said, we definitely wanted to go out and win and compete to win it. Like we definitely felt like we was gonna win the whole tournament. And we was looking to get back at Clemson because they had just beat us like a couple games before that. So we was definitely ready to go out and play, and we didn't want to go out that way. We didn't want it to be handed to us. That's not how Coach Ham is, and that's not how we were as a team or as players. So we didn't want either one of those to happen. But just kind of had to take the good with the bad in the situation.
Yeah, and just 2 more quick ones for me, and I'll let Freddie take it home. But obviously the draft happened. Patrick Williams, number 4, Devin Vassell, number 11. The second round's always a crapshoot, so you never know what
Yeah.
happens. But the good thing for you is you kind of got to pick your landing spot. But how proud were you as a father to see your son Jordan Nora get drafted in the second round there?
Nah, it was funny. Once it happened, I got a lot of tweets and notifications about that. So nah, it was definitely funny.
Can you, Richie? I know Richie's got another one, but let's talk to us about that play. Like, talk to us about like coming out of that wing, and I mean, just
Yeah.
sending all of FSU fandom like into like the heavens.
Nah, it was like I don't even know. It just happened. Like I don't know. You just get the adrenaline. It takes over, and that like MJ made a good play though. I didn't even know he seen me.
It's a great pass. Yeah.
Nah, it was a very tough pass. And then honestly, when I got the ball, I didn't even see Jordan like at all. Like I just kind of saw the rim, so I just kind of took off. And at the last minute is really when I saw him. Once I picked the ball up, is when I literally saw him in my face. And I mean, he was just too late. So then after that, like once I dunked it, I really didn't even know what happened. So I kind of like was shocked for a minute, and then I really realized what happened, and everybody just went crazy.
It was clear you didn't know because like I'm watching. I think this is like a Monday night game. I'm watching with my wife. Y'all are like down by 20 at halftime, and I'm like, nah, though this team can come back, and y'all go on like a 45-14 run. Patrick Williams has the first steal and massive dunk.
Yeah.
Then you do that to Nora, and I'm just going nuts on the couch. My wife thinks I'm crazy, and I'm like, man, that might be the greatest like moment that I've remember, outside of tournament history for Florida State that I've been watching. So I thought that was just awesome, and I was so happy for you guys. And my last question, man, you beat Boston College last game of the season. Outright win of the ACC regular season tournament, which for people that don't follow college basketball, that is so much more difficult and impressive to do than winning the ACC tournament, which is a 3-game one-off. Because you went through the first ever 20-game season and did it. How happy were you to see Coach Ham on that ladder with that net around his neck? Because as a lifelong Florida State basketball fan, I could not have been happier for the man there.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like, I don't know, because for me, I look at Coach Ham kind of like a second father figure for real.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to relate to him. And like all 3 of my years, he always talked about he wanted to get up there, cut the nets down, hold up his number one. Always wanted to do it. So just to finally be able, especially my senior year, to be like the captain and get to see him do that, like I feel like it definitely like I understood it a little more and was definitely happy for him just to see him finally get to do that.
Well, shoot, I just wanted to congratulate you on having the opportunity to sign in the NBA and further your playing career. As a player at FSU, I was always a fan of yours, just watching from the outside, just because I played fullback. So that's a so we gritty, like we love being in them trenches. But when I watch basketball, I always like, of course, you like your LeBrons, your KDs. I'm watching the game. I'm like, man, Pitt Forrest a dog, man.
Yeah.
Dog. So I'm watching you, and you like, I know you don't like. You seem like a humble guy. You probably don't like all that attention on you, but I feel like you were the heart and soul of that Florida State team, and just watching you get another opportunity, gritty guy that ain't scared of the moment.
Yeah,
man, I'm wishing you the best, man. And this opportunity, man, run with it. Like, don't be scared. You belong in that room. The same thing that got you to this level. Just keep doing those same things. You'll be straight.
For sure. Appreciate it.
I have one last question, Trent, because I just have to say that my name's Richie Barnes. I'm super excited about Scotty Barnes. What do you know about the guy, and what should Florida State fans expect from him this year? I don't know if you hosted him on any visits or anything, but
yeah,
I think that guy's the real deal.
Nah, he is. Just he plays with a lot of energy, so he's gonna fit the system perfectly. And nah, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good.
Love it, man. Love it.
Trent, thank you so much for your time tonight, man. I appreciate. I know it's a busy week and there's a holiday, but thank you so much for hanging out with us. We wish you the best of luck. Hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday season coming up, and man, we can't wait to watch you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for hanging out, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Trent. Appreciate it, man.
Trent Forrest. That's a good pull. Freddie's the man when it comes to these pulls, bro. Like, just anybody, anytime.
Freddie's got the Batman signal. He just puts it up and like, all right, I'm jumping on the pod with y'all.
You need to get
Kirk Herbstreit, Dan Woken, Trent Forrest, doesn't matter.
Don't put Dan in with those other guys.
He was nice enough to come on for a 30-minute show. So
he didn't know who it was. No, that's awesome, and super excited to see him at the next level. We had to do this kind of out of order, but can you roll that Trey Rowlands drive-through? Trey Rowlands drive-through was hilarious this week. I'll let Trey say all the things that I couldn't so that you guys can cancel him if necessary, but it was very, very funny this week. I already watched it once. But Harlan, if you can roll that when you get a chance, and then we'll come back in here, talk about this UVA game, talk about the holiday, and then get out of here.
Hey everybody, welcome to Trey Rowlands Drive Through, presented to you by the Double Fries No Slaw podcast. Now listen, we don't have a game to talk about this week from the confines of my my budget-priced European family sports utility vehicle, but we do have something far more dire. What we have to talk about is an invasion. An invasion not only on the Florida State football team, the beautiful city of Tallahassee and Leon County at large, but no, it was an invasion on the ideals, the philosophies, and the principles that we Florida State fans hold dear. And who was perpetrating this malicious, this unconscionable invasion? None other than enemy of the people, Wuhan Dabo Swinney and his Chinese Communist Clemson Party. They tried to come down to our city, smuggle in a COVID-positive player, also some rhesus monkeys from the movie Outbreak, and a couple of smallpox blankets, and they tried to spread their Clemson flu, their orange plague, to the beautiful people of Leon County. Well, guess what? We weren't having it then, and we're not having it ever. Listen, I guess the deal is Clemson had a symptomatic player, practiced with him earlier in the week. Then apparently he felt better, tested negative, traveled with the team because, protocol's dumb, blah. And then he tested positive when he was in Tallahassee. So Florida State, being the party of logic, reason, medicine, science, didn't feel comfortable doing that because you had a COVID dude travel with you, Dabs. So our medical professionals, we didn't sign off on the game. Clemson offered, for whatever reason, to reschedule the game for Sunday and Monday because 9 months into a pandemic, they don't know how incubation periods work. So, weird suggestion, Clemson, wasn't going to happen. So, I don't get it. I don't get it. Apparently, Clemson thinks COVID's fake, but their 2012 ACC co-championship is real. So, deal with that as you will. But listen, we're playing football in a pandemic, right? There's no playbook. There's no guidelines. We're in the most inept conference in the entire country. Seriously, the ACC, you stink. So, you would think that when this game gets canceled, obviously both programs want to play. Clemson wants to beat us into the ground because they think for whatever reason beating the crap out of a terrible Florida State team will erase the national memory of 2013. Newsflash, it will not. Florida State wants to play because we need the cash. We need the cash for a home game. And at this point, whatever, dude. What's another blowout in a season of like 25? So you would think that Clemson's figurehead, their fearless leader, would take this with some stride and be like, listen, guys, we understand it's a pandemic. We know that both teams wanted to play. But no, what did he do? What did he do when the medical professionals disagreed? What did Chairman Mao do? Chairman Mao Dabo Swinney went on a public relations campaign that was somehow worse than the Great Leap Forward. Listen, It was bad. And he said some dumb stuff. Said that Florida State was ducking Clemson due to, like I said, to keep some sort of honor that we may still have intact. Listen, Dabo. Listen, Wuhan Dabo. In 2018, when we thought we might actually have a good team, ESPN captured a chubby real estate professor reading The Prisoner of Azkaban during the middle of the Clemson game. Nothing you could have done to us on Saturday would have been worse than that. We have no shame anymore. Shame has been eroded continuously since 2016. So, just continue to say the floor. Just the most simplistic, thick-headed Clemson paw take on everything. Dabo continued to spew over and over and over again. So what happened? Mike Norvell in his press conference. Champion of Tallahassee. Lover of both science and medicine. Defender of life, liberty, and the American way. He shoved Wuhan Dabo in a locker. Big time. Big time. Said, listen, emphasize that we care about our players, we care about our medical professionals, we care about protocols. Just all of the things that you needed to hit that you would expect from an adult head football coach in the middle of a pandemic to actually give a shit about. Looks like Mike Norvell did. Made himself look good. And he just took Dabo Jinping and just shoved him right in that orange and purple locker. And it was phenomenal. And we loved it. Now, listen, even in the press conference, like, listen, there was talk of, like, travel expenses. And Mike Norvell even decided to, like, listen here, you broke bitch. I'll pay for your bus fare. I'll pay for your Uber for your fade. It don't matter to me. I gots the money. Which I loved it. Was just a big dick move. And I'm always a fan of big dick moves here on Trey Rollins Drive there. Now, listen. Dabo Swinney fired back even after that, for some reason doubling down when he's literally getting dunked on by every single national blue check in the history of college football Twitter. Dabo fired back with more Dabo things. Who even knows what he said? COVID is God's way of punishing college football for considering to pay players for their likeness. Some sort of Dabo thing. Dabo thing on top of Dabo thing on top of Dabo thing, continuing to look worse in the process. Now listen, it's a weird time for Florida State fans. It's weird to be on the right side of a public relations campaign, but cherish it. This is not Martin Luther King with the wide receiver glove chopping. We're on the right side of history here, guys. So continue to, I know it's a weird spot for FSU Twitter to be in an unholy alliance with the Dan Wolkins and the Stuart Mandells of the world, but listen, cherish it while you can. We're in the right. Wuhan Dabo and the COVID Tigers are in the wrong. They're in the wrong, and their time will come, whether December 12th or another day. So write it out. Oh, also, we have a game against Virginia this weekend. Let's win. If you guys want my thoughts on exactly what's going to happen in the game against Virginia, go to the Triple Option X's and Knowles YouTube page. Me and my guys, we break that down, that film. And we're going to tell you how it's going to go. Going to be a tough one for Florida State. But right now, let's revel. Let's revel in the national public roasting of Wuhan Dabo. Because let freedom ring. Let the white dove sing. Let the whole world know that today is a day of reckoning. And the day of reckoning will come for you, Wuhan Dabo. Trey Rollins.
That was Trey Rollins drive-through. Hilarious segment this week. I watched it earlier today. And hope you guys enjoyed that. I let him say all the things that I'm not allowed to say so that he gets canceled and not me. Hey, we've got both Brian and Harlan in here with us. Ed Kennedy, who also works with us, had a couple of things going on and couldn't make it, but these guys are part of the team. Brian, actually, they both have their own other podcasts going as well. Brian produces and hosts the Don't Go Out There horror movie review podcast, and Harlan Harris has a podcast called Average Athletes that you guys should both check. Go check both of those out. And
Yes,
even
sir.
if you're not, I will say, even if you're not a horror fan, so like I'm not what I would say is a horror fan at all. There are enough movies just like in pop culture that you've seen that you should go check out Brian's podcast. Like if you see The Shining, if you've seen Saw, if you've seen, there's a lot of movies that like aren't, just if you haven't seen so I haven't seen like the Friday the 13th or Halloween and stuff like that. I have seen the original Halloween now because
Damn it, TJ. What the hell?
I'm not a horror guy. I'm not a horror guy at all, but there's enough movies out there. And I've been trying to convince him for about a year to review something that wasn't horror. So hopefully they'll take me up on it. They're a year in, still haven't done it, but maybe they will one day. And
Well, I'll tell you what, in about 2 months, we're doing a horror comedy, which is basically like Ghostbusters and stuff like that. That's not horror at all. So there you go. Yeah,
I thought your horror comedy would be the 2020 Florida State football season, but I'll wait for that podcast
so
too.
That is a Rob Zombie bloodbath.
House of Wax.
Richie coming in strong with the dad jokes, and then Harlan hosts Average Athletes. Harlan played baseball in college, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's me and one of my buddies that I played college baseball with, and our main audience, we get 300 or 400, 500 little recruiting. We give recruiting advice and college advice. We got a bunch of kids that are looking to go places for college for baseball. So it's mainly we give advice to recruits that are trying to go somewhere. Or I went to junior college when I was in college. Then I eventually went on to a 4-year. So we give advice to those JUCO guys, the high school guys, just kind of give them what to expect when they get to college and the recruiting process of baseball, which I can tell you is a lot different than football. Baseball gets 9 scholarships that they split among 30 people. Football gets 90. So we just kind of give them some advice, tell them some college stories, have fun with it. But yeah, if you have a kid that's playing baseball and is looking to go somewhere in college, definitely tune in.
Yeah, awesome, so go check both of their podcasts out. Even if you don't listen to them, if you just go subscribe and like let it play through for a few minutes, it'll still help them in the grand scheme. So they help us. They're part of the Double Fries team.
Rate us 5 stars.
5 stars, everybody. I do that sometimes. Like I'll just go through a bunch of podcasts. 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. So anyway, appreciate having both of you guys on. We are going to do a couple of things and then get off of here. But the first thing we're going to do is, unfortunately, talk about this FSU UVA game. We'll go real quick with a preview. We didn't get real deep into a preview with Coach Anderson, but let's go around the horn. Let's talk about the game, kind of what you expect this weekend. And then we'll get into some over-unders. We'll do some picks. We'll talk Thanksgiving, and we'll get out of here. So, Freddie, since you have the best, most informed opinion of anybody else on here, what are you looking for in this UVA game this weekend?
Actually playing the game this week. We didn't get Florida State football. But hopefully our nose bounced back from the last time we saw him on the field. Jordan Travis, he's healthy from what I'm hearing, and that helps out our offense tremendously. So, and with this Virginia team, they've grown over the past few weeks, so it's going to be a true test. I don't think it'll get ugly. I think it'll be a game that's closer than people expect it to be, but I think they edge us out in the end. But just compete and take that next step forward for our nose, really.
Richie?
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting, right? Because, our last game, I think we had 59 scholarship players available. It may be a more or less within a few this week, but I do think the situation with Clemson and Dabo coming after Florida State, like out of nowhere, and Norvell saying, listen, we care about the player's safety. I do think that there's some sort of a idea that they may rally around the team, rally around Norvell, and give Virginia a game. They're only I'm not sure what the current spread is, but this week it was 9.5 points. I'm leaning towards Florida State on this one, just because I do think the players that are still in the program, that are still here, that have bought into Mike Norvell, they want to play and they want to go out and prove something for them. I don't know what to expect this weekend at all. We talked to Justin Anderson, the director of players personnel for Virginia, and listen, Bronco Mendenhall, he runs a great program, very structured. They don't have a lot of special athletes, but they do what they are asked to do within the scheme and what they're doing as a program. So it's not an ideal opponent, but I have no idea what to expect. TJ, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think Florida State's going to be outmatched in this game. I think it'll be really, really tough for Florida State to win, but hopefully they have kind of been galvanized over the last week, or I guess 4 or 5 days, since the cancellation, since kind of getting called out by the bully of the ACC right now, right? Like Clemson is the team to beat. And so hopefully that's somewhat galvanized them a little bit. Virginia has had games where they looked really good and games where they didn't look good. Their defense isn't great. Their offense isn't, especially special either. They put up 44 on North Carolina, but North Carolina is proving to be a pretty awful defense themselves. So I don't know. I could see Florida State kind of keeping it close. The spread is 9.5. I think that's pretty fair. A 31-21, or maybe even like a 37 to 27 game wouldn't shock me. I'd like to see Florida State come out and kind of, like Kirk talked about, be out there playing for each other, playing for their team. And seeing some of those young guys kind of take those strides. These last 2 or 3, if the Clemson game gets rescheduled, these last 2 games don't mean anything as far as wins and losses go. And so just hopefully whatever happens Saturday can help us build toward the future. Brian?
Yeah, the buy-in, that's really what it's about at this point. Obviously, we're not playing for anything meaningful. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving, and we're not talking about the Florida State game right now, which honestly, thank God, at this point. But I mean, hey, Jordan Travis, we've got Jordan Travis, and to me, he's the wild card every time he steps on the field now. So, I said weeks ago after I picked us to beat North Carolina that I wasn't going to pick us the rest of the year. So, I mean, I'll have us losing, 35-24 or something like that. But I'm not going to rule us out of anything with Jordan Travis at the helm.
That's a hell of a game to pick. Like, this is the last time I'm picking Florida State against a top 5 team. We beat them, and you're like, no, I'm sticking to my guns. Well, I'm not picking the team the rest of the year.
Harlan, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll be honest. The thing I'm looking forward to the most is hanging out with you guys. I haven't been to a game this year. I usually go to multiple games every year, if not every home game. So I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. We see each other on Zoom all the time, but never in person. So looking forward to that. And unlike Richie talks about his heyday in college where it was Tim Tebow era and we sucked. My heyday in college was Orange Bowls, national championships, and we were amazing. So these last few years have really sucked for me. But
I hate you, man.
I'm right there with you, Richie. You're my age, so.
So I think if Jordan Travis is actually healthy, I think we keep it close. But I've lost all faith. I'll take the over for Virginia. You said it's 9.5. I mean, I think they cover that.
Speaking of some over-unders, Richie, let's get through some over-unders. Hey, I know we didn't play the game, but what were the over-unders last week? Just go through them one by one. Do you have them somewhere real quick?
Yeah, so I'll go through them real quick. I had, and I hit the first one. You two did not. It was Clemson first half punts, 0.5. TJ and Freddie had 0. I had the over. I took the under. So I win that. FSU offensive touchdowns in the first 3 quarters, 0.5. Freddie and TJ took the over. I took the under, so I hit that as well.
None of these count, by the way.
Obviously.
But if they'd have gone for me, I'd have been like, yeah, chalk those up.
Then the last few ones were just a little ridiculous. Florida State players to attempt to pass 2.5. I think I was the only one to take the over.
So we got that one.
So you and Freddie technically get that one. And then the Clemson
shirtless guy. We got that one right.
You got the shirtless guy. Then Clemson first half points at 35.5. But the important numbers at the season total, TJ, you have a commanding lead, 32. Freddie's at 30. I'm at 26. And we'll get into this week and we'll include.
There's only 10 left. There's only 10 left.
I might do 20 picks for the Duke game just to give myself a chance.
No, get out of here.
I wouldn't do that. But let's get right into this week. And we'll have two guests with us here today. So we'll kind of rapid fire a little bit. I'll start the first one. Jordan Travis, 275.5 total yards. I think I'll take the over here. What about you, Freddie?
I'm gonna take the over as well.
275.5, I'll go under.
All right. Brian.
Over.
All right.
Over.
Harlan.
Over.
All right. So this next one, I changed this number like 4 times because I don't know where to go with it. But Florida State rushing yards, 155.5. TJ. Good number. TJ speechless.
Yeah, under.
Oh, all right, Freddie.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think we miss it barely, so I'm gonna go under.
All right, I'm definitely going over here. How about you, Harlan and Brian?
I'm gonna go the over with Jordan Travis, 155 yards by himself.
Oh, damn! All right, Harlan.
Yeah, I'll definitely go. If Travis is healthy, I'll go over. But if he's banged up, I'm gonna regret this one. But I'll go over.
Sounds like he's healthy, but we'll see. These next few ones, I didn't know idea where I was going, but Florida State, defensive 3 and outs, 4.5 for the entire game. TJ.
Under.
Freddie.
Yeah.
Hey, no, these obvious ones are great because they don't give you guys a chance to catch up.
Is that an under, Freddie?
Yeah, I'll say under. Yeah.
All right, I'm going over. Harlan.
Under. I don't even think. No, there's no way. I don't even think we have 4 on the season.
Yeah. So I'm the only over. I'm guessing Brian, right?
Yeah, under for sure.
All right. So the next one, I think this is a tricky one. Brennan Armstrong. We talked about him a lot with my former high school coach, Coach Anderson. 305.5 total yards. I think I got to go over here. I don't want to, but I will. Harlan, what do you think?
Over.
All right. Brian, what do you think? 305.5.
I'm going under.
All right, TJ.
Go. Oh, I got under, man. They run the ball. He had 208 yards against UNC. So under.
Freddie, what are you thinking?
I'm with TJ and Brian. I think he'll be under.
All right. And our last one, and I'm kind of mad at myself for doing this because I'm going to have to pay really close attention to the broadcast. But Dabo Swinney's name mentioned 6.5 times. I'm taking the over. What do you think, Freddie?
Easily over.
All right, TJ.
Yeah, I'll go over.
All right, Brian and Harlan, what do you guys got? 6.5 mentions of Dabo's name during the broadcast.
Over for me.
All right.
Oh, y'all went over? I have to go under.
That's a smart man. So that's the over-under for this week, and we'll reconvene next week on that one. But yeah, it's got to have a little fun with it during a season like this.
What are our picks this week? We'll do some picks and then we'll talk Thanksgiving and get out of here.
All right, yeah, we'll do these ones quickly.
I never do these quickly because I feel like I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and you guys people really care about my opinion. So no,
all right. So
Brian said he had 20 minutes. We were only at like 16, so we're good.
Oh, in that case, I'll do a real quick recap of last week. It looks like Richie Barnes, some guy, came in first place with 4 accurate picks last week. No one else was close. Ed tied me in first place, so I'll give him that. But we'll go straight to this week's picks. Maryland, they are getting 13.5 against Indiana, who might be like the surprise team of college football this year. Indiana covers. What do you guys think?
Yeah, don't get caught watching the paint dry. Indiana covers here.
I'm taking Maryland.
All right. Brian, Harlan?
Taking Maryland too.
Indiana. I watched them play last week. Threw for like 500 yards. Indiana.
All right, man. So this one's really intriguing. It will not be a close game, but the spread 24.5 Alabama is giving to Auburn. My wife, an Alabama fan, huge Iron Bowl advocate. 51% of the bets on Auburn, 49 on Alabama. You know what? Give me Auburn. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I actually think Auburn covers here, but I just don't bet against Saban. So roll Tide.
Freddie.
I'll take Auburn.
Good man. Brian.
My wife's a huge Alabama fan, so I'm going to go with Auburn.
Oh, so you live the same hell I do every Saturday. Harlan, what's up, man?
I could be wrong on this, but I don't think I've missed with Alabama taking an over yet. So I'm taking Alabama. All y'all took Georgia that 1 week. I said Bama will cover. Bama hasn't done me wrong yet, so Bama.
All right. I'll make this next one quick. Clemson is giving 24.5 points to Pitt. Dabo is a little angry man. If you like the movie Elf around the holidays, he is going to cover the spread and then some. And if, God forbid, they come to Florida State, he's going to double the spread and cover it. Clemson is winning this week by as much as they want. Freddie, what do you think?
Yeah, you just got to hope Dabo didn't coach the guys up or something, because that's the only way they're not covering the spread. But, yeah, they cover easily.
All right, TJ.
Yeah, I like Clemson to cover here.
All right, Brian, Harlan, do either of you disagree with us?
Not at all.
No.
All right, the next one, another one close to Florida State fans' hearts. Texas A&M, they are at home, and they are laying 14.5 to LSU. LSU's bad, and Jimbo's got these boys rolling. I'm taking A&M. What do you think, Freddie?
Definitely taking the guys up in where they play at?
College Station.
Taking those guys, the 12th man. I'm taking them.
There you go. TJ.
Yeah, I like A&M here.
All right, Brian.
I don't bet against Jimbo Fisher.
Nobody should. Harlan, do you bet against him?
I mean, I wanted to take A&M. All y'all just took. I'll still take A&M.
All right. So this last one I think could be interesting, and I think we might actually have some split decisions here. Georgia favored by 21.5 at South Carolina. They just fired Will Muschamp. I personally broke the news to Kirk Herbstreit on the podcast last week.
Oh, wow.
That's all I do is break news. And I'm going with Georgia here. Everything tells me to pick South Carolina. I just think Georgia, they're due for an explosion of offense 1 week, so I'm going with it. Let's go in reverse. Harlan, what do you think?
Yeah, so Georgia's been playing Jake Fromm Jr. all year, which I haven't been impressed with, even though all my Georgia fans thought the mailman was amazing. But JT Daniels looked good. I'm going to take Georgia.
Brian, what do you think, man?
I'm going to go South Carolina just for absolutely no reason. It's crazy, but I'm going to go South Carolina.
All right, TJ, Freddie, what do you guys think?
Yeah, give me South Carolina on this one. I think Georgia wins convincingly, but I'm going to backdoor South Carolina touchdown to.
It's a lot of points. Yeah. Freddie.
Yeah, I got burned a lot of times with my money on the line. I know they're going to fail me at the end of the game, so I'm taking South Carolina.
All right. And the last one, the most recent spread I've seen, Florida State, they are taking 9.5 points against Virginia. And I don't even have an official prediction, but I got to come up with one in the next few minutes here. I am so torn. I'm going to go last on this one just because I'm allowed to do that. So let's start with Brian and Harlan. Give me first of all, against the spread, 9.5 points, Virginia favored, and then your score prediction for the game.
Go ahead, Harlan.
Yeah, I'll definitely go Virginia covers, and then 31-17.
All right. Brian, what do you got, man?
I am going to take Florida State in the points, but they're going to cover, but they're not going to win. I said it earlier, 31-28. 31-28. We'll do that.
All right, Freddie.
Yeah, I like us to cover, but I don't think we end up getting the win. Got us somewhere around the range of 30. UVA wins 33-27.
All right, TJ, where we at, man?
Yeah, there's just not enough going right at Florida State to feel confident in picking them to win anything outside of a cancellation. Oh man. But it is Thanksgiving week. So let's just be very grateful that we are going to the game, and I will take FSU to cover the spread and win the game 31-30 blocked extra point for the win.
I'm a little mad, TJ. I wanted to be the only person picking Florida State today. I didn't know I was picking us until about 5 minutes ago, but Florida State finds some magic. They rally around Coach Norvell, who saved this team from a massive COVID outbreak and potentially millions of lives lost in Tallahassee. And Florida State comes out and wins this game 24-23 on a made field goal by Ryan Fitzpatrick as time expires. Noles win.
I'll take it. I think Richie and I are wrong, but if that happens, that'd be awesome. Let's go through some Thanksgiving stuff. Let's do this somewhat quick, just because we've been on for about an hour and a half. But we'll take like 5-10 minutes and do this, and then get out of here. What do you guys do for Thanksgiving? Like, whose house do you go to? Do you host? Do you cook? We'll do that one first. Freddie?
Well, me, I'm a food connoisseur, so I'm going to mom's house, probably my uncle's house. Yeah, I don't do no cooking. I'm the guy that people come to if they want to know if the food's good, and because I'm not gonna lie about it.
Yeah, man, I love cooking, and by cooking I mean I drop a turkey into 3 gallons of oil. That's how I cook, and it's amazing every year. You know, typically my sister and her husband come down from North Carolina. This year, it's just going to be me, my sister, or not my sister, me, my wife, and my mom. My mother-in-law was supposed to come. She did not feel comfortable with COVID, which is completely understandable. So we're taking it easy. I have way too much food for 3 people, but I'll be frying a turkey. The wife will be making some firesides, and I'm excited and get to watch football and then head to Tallahassee this weekend. How about you, TJ, man?
So we are going to my mom's for kind of a Thanksgiving brunch, kind of doing something a little bit different. There will be turkey, but there will just also be mimosas. So, so we have in the past gone a bunch of different places, but now that we have the 2 kids, I've kind of put a stop to that and said, like, okay, we'll go one place for every major holiday. Yeah. So like, I don't care which place it is. We'll rotate, do my mom for Christmas, or my mom for Thanksgiving, your mom for, so we're just going to my mom's. My wife's kind of getting up and doing a 5K in the morning, a virtual 5K. There aren't even real 5Ks. You just can't run by people because of COVID, because if you run by somebody, you might get a disease and die. So we're going to go out to like the,
all right, Dabo,
the trail by our house. And we're not even going to test for COVID before. We're just going to start running for a mile and a half and then run back. And that's our Thanksgiving morning. Then we're going to brunch at my mom. So real white people stuff there. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Brian Harlan.
What do you want to do for Thanksgiving? Let's go run. Like while everyone else is. That'd be great.
Yes. Thankfully, I did not marry into a family that runs 5Ks.
I did. Well, let me back up. I didn't either. This is a new thing. We're 6 years in. We've been in a relationship for 10 years. This is a brand new thing. Like, this just came out of nowhere this year. So, all right.
Oh, nightmare. Thankfully, my wife and I still have our, parents around, and they live around us. And so we usually, even though we've got 2 kids now and it's my daughter's first Thanksgiving, we usually do run the gauntlet. So we run, even to her grandparents that are still around, and then we go to her parents, and then Thanksgiving Day, we usually do the opposite. So, it's kind of like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It's like 2 days worth of Thanksgiving. So yeah. I can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually I go up to Albany, Georgia, do a little hunting, shoot little guns, but my grandparents don't want, I got 10 little cousins, I'm the oldest one, they don't want people coming up there and getting them sick, so I'm actually doing the carousel. I got Thanksgiving with my fiance at lunch in Cairo, Georgia, and then I got a in-between lunch and dinner with Mike Martin Jr. and my mom, and then I've got Thanksgiving at 5 with my dad, and then I'm hitting up the pool hall. Mike Martin Jr. wants to play me some pool Thursday night, so I'm gonna be busy, man.
Flex on us, Harlan, man. I'm gonna be handled Mike Martin Jr. all day. No big deal. And but he got me, TJ, and Freddie some really good seats to the game this weekend, so I'm all for it.
I mean, you think that those could be up in like the third. Like we'd have no idea where those are.
Yeah, we don't know yet. So
like, I might be like spitting on his tickets and walking down, sitting with somebody else. So
I might have to call my my coach Anderson and say, hey, put me on Virginia's sideline, man.
This guy.
No, wait, you didn't specify, Harlan. Is this real pool or are we talking about virtual pool now and a virtual lunch? Like
no, real pool, real pool.
Oh, that's great.
If you could only have 3 things on your Thanksgiving plate, what would it be? Food connoisseur, you can go first.
Freddie's got things. I'll go real quick because I know what I'm doing. Deep fried turkey injected and seasoned properly is number 1. If you bake a turkey, I can't do Thanksgiving with you. I'm sorry. Green bean casserole, because my mom makes the best green bean casserole in the world, and it's so amazing every year. And then I'm going to cop out a little bit and give a 3A, 3B.
No,
no this is my podcast too. I can say what I want. It's either a proper made mac and cheese, homemade, where you grate the cheese yourself, not pre-shredded, or garlic mashed potatoes. The cranberry sauce has nowhere on my plate. Get that the hell off my plate.
Since you picked 2, when I make dinner for you, you're getting Kraft mac and cheese and Boston Market mashed potatoes. Freddie, what do you want, bro?
All right, so I'm definitely dressing's going on there. And then it's either, since I only get 3, I got to be picky between the ham or the macaroni. So I'm going to go with the ham. And I'm a sweets guy. I love sweets. So you got to put that in there. Red velvet cake. It was tough between that and the sweet potato pie, but I'm going red velvet.
Brian.
Ham, sweet potato casserole, and some good homemade banana pudding.
Woo! Banana pudding. I can hit that all year. I like the debate. Okay, let's add. This is like a side question, real quick. Have you guys ever had the banana pudding with the chessman cookies as opposed to the vanilla wafers? I saw Freddie talking about this.
I had both of them.
Give me that chessman cookies. Give me them.
We got to put this on the timeline because people talking about this on Facebook and Twitter. Them hard ass chessman cookies, man, they don't even melt in.
we gotta put a poll out now.
Yeah, they hard ass cookies. Nobody don't want them.
Oh, James.
No business in that banana pudding.
Love it, Freddie.
Hope James Coleman cusses you out. Harlan.
Yeah, so I'll go ham. Not a big turkey guy. Sorry, Richie. Ham.
Not even deep fried, injected, properly seasoned.
My grandma's ham, mashed potatoes, and then this one's going to be off. This one's not very popular, but my grandpa always boils his own peanuts, and I always eat those all day before Thanksgiving dinner. So I'm going to go with my grandpa's homemade boiled peanuts for appetizer all day.
That's your sleeper right there, because boiled peanuts done right are phenomenal. So that's a sleeper right there. That's a great pick.
Mine would be, like Richie's saying, an ejected and deep fried turkey. I don't season the outside of the turkey because it just comes off in the.
Yeah.
Like I didn't keep saying season, but you can't season that turkey if you're dropping it in grease. Like there are just very little steaks. So anyway,
if you know what you're doing,
a deep fried turkey. My mom makes this stuff called sweet potato souffle. It's like a sweet potato casserole, but it's a little different. It's a little sweeter.
It's a fancy sweet potato casserole.
We do it different here in Tampa. And then I think my third one, nobody mentioned this. I love broccoli casserole. So those would be like the 3 on my plate. My dad makes a fantastic broccoli casserole. This will go faster. It sounds like a couple of you guys have already mentioned yours, but or no, just Freddie did. No, Freddie said. What was your dessert? You said, Freddie?
Red velvet.
Red velvet. Brian said banana pudding. Richie, Harlan, and then myself. What's your dessert? I'll go first. I like pecan pie.
Yeah, real quick. I love the it's Publix. They have a frozen like Hershey's pie, like chocolate chip and chocolate pie overall. My mom buys it every year, and I love it. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm not a big cake or pie guy, so we always just do chocolate chip cookies. I'm boring.
That is very boring.
That.
Something you can literally get 365 days. Not that you can't get pecan pie every day of the year, but all right, we'll do this one, then we get out of here. whatever you're thankful for. You can list one thing here. You can list 10 things, but like something you're thankful for. It's been a weird year. It's been a trying year, but we'll go serious with this for a minute, and then we'll get out of here. Something you're thankful for in 2020. Sorry, I didn't pick anybody. Freddie.
Life, family. Shoot, the double fries pod, man. We're doing big things over here. Shoot, even though they're letting me down every damn week, I'm thankful for my nose. And yeah, man.
Richie.
Yeah, I mean, very similar. Like I'm thankful for life. We had a pandemic this year. Luckily, me and my wife were both considered essential employees. We were never furloughed, never lost our jobs, and I know so many people did, and it breaks my heart. But we are thankful that we were able to, work through that. I'm thankful for, everyone on this podcast right now. It's been a blast. Thankful for Trey Rowland for, giving me a chance and hire me as his producer last year. Never heard of me. But to be able to come together, all of you guys, it's been awesome. And I'm thankful for Leonard Hamilton, man. He's the GOAT. Bobby will always be the Florida State GOAT, but Leonard Hamilton is my number 2. So shout out to Leonard Hamilton and the Florida State basketball team. Brought in a guy like Trent Forrest. I'm thankful for all of that.
Harlan.
Yeah, mine's similar as well. Thankful for being healthy, being able to work from home, not losing my job, so that I can help you guys out during this pod. It's been awesome. Started my own, helping some guys, get recruited in college with some connections, giving them some advice, and thankful for FSU basketball starting. Like Richie said, I can't wait to start seeing a Florida State dub on my timeline. And then also recently today, I'm thankful that I got a PS5. And I have to mention this. I got engaged this year. So I'm thankful for my fiance.
I was going to call you out so hard.
He legit mentioned the PS5 before the engagement.
Yes, he did.
Dude, I was going to call you out so hard. I'm thankful that you remembered that for your sake. Brian.
Oh, man. My family, of course. I mean, my kids.
Yeah.
2020's been, rough all around, but we've really been blessed. We're building a house, so that's something we're dealing with. I'm thankful to Nico Chin for, he just was hit me up on the timeline just out of the blue one time and talking about horror movies. And then he asked me to be on the podcast, and I thought as a guest, and he was like, "No, just come on, be a host." And so, this past year has been great with our, that Don't Go Out There podcast. Just how I've got to talk to people that I've watched growing up and never thought I'd ever have the chance to talk to some of these people. So I'm very blessed, and I know a lot of people are going through a lot of hard times at Thanksgiving, and especially is hard for a lot of people. So I'm definitely blessed and thankful for everything that I have.
Yeah, I'll finish this up. A lot of the things that you guys have said, my family, just like Brian and just like Brian's family did, we welcomed a new baby to the world this year, and crazy year for that to happen. But things have gone well. I've been able to be home with my family more this year than ever, which with little kids, that's sort of a blessing, not sort of, it definitely is a blessing because you don't get that time back. And so that's been great. Thankful for health. I know a couple of people that have gotten the virus. I know a couple of people that have been sick, but I personally don't know anybody that has passed away. I know several people do, but thankful for health for my friends and family. And thankful again for this podcast. Like you guys have talked about, this has been a lot of fun. I think we've grown a ton more than I would have expected in the time that we've been going, but appreciate you guys and everything you guys do for us. Appreciate Ed Kennedy, who couldn't make it on with us tonight, had some stuff going on, but appreciate him and his help as well. The most memeable man in FSU Twitter. Also, I'm thankful that during the pandemic, I won the FSU Twitter bracket because that's very important. And he didn't send me like a trophy, but I was hoping he would send me a trophy so I could put that up in my house.
So I was wondering why. I was wondering where the payment was coming in for, but now it makes sense. That,
no.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, and we're all thankful for Guthrie's, and we're gonna grab a couple gut boxes this weekend, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's been years since I've had one of those.
Yeah, we gotta see what they got set up, because I know I'm still the McDonald's challenge. I'm upset about that.
Freddie wants to eat like 50 tenders this weekend, man.
I gotta whoop some challenge, man. The McDonald's one was a little tougher than I expected it to be. Man.
Isn't a bucket 20 tenders? I mean, I should know their menu better. But a bucket at Guthrie's is 20 tenders. So just do that. Can you do a bucket of Guthrie's tenders?
Yeah, I'm gonna just make sure I don't eat all day, drink much.
Well, no, Freddie, that's the trick. You got to eat a small breakfast to expand your stomach a little bit. Like all these eating challenges, like Joey Chestnut, you eat a breakfast to expand your stomach, but not a lot. That way, when it comes for the real meal, you're ready and your stomach's good to go, man. You
said 25 tenders?
Can't skip breakfast.
25 tenders.
20 sounded all right. Yeah, 25. That's a different monster.
With double fries. You got to get double fries too.
Oh man.
Imagine how much sauce you would need to get through 25 tenders. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch you do this. Don't quit. If you do this, FSU will win. But no, I'm thankful for you guys, thankful for this podcast. Again, my family and everything that everybody else said too. I'm thankful for Harlan's PS5 and Nico Chan and everything else too. Any shout outs before we get out of here? Oh, if you're going to be in Tallahassee this weekend, hit us up. Hit my DMs, hit the show's DMs. Hit us up on Facebook. It doesn't matter where. Like, it all comes to the same phone. So hit us up wherever. Let us know. Let's hang out. And we'll see you on Saturday. Any shout outs before we go? Richie's got like 6 more people getting married. Go ahead, Richie.
No, not on me this week. I actually shout out my good friends here at Orlando, Mark and Rachel. They are going to drive me up to Tallahassee this weekend because I hate driving on interstates, and I'm going to fly back home, but they're going to drive me up. So shout out to them.
Hey, that's love.
Well, they're going to the game too. They both went to Florida State. So it's not like they're just being nice. Like, oh, let me drive you 4 hours out of the way.
Why aren't you just riding back with them?
Because they're so Rachel, her brother owns a farm in Tallahassee. They're going there, and they're going to be there till late at night. And I want to be back home to watch the Bucks and Chiefs game. Probably watch us lose to the Chiefs at 4:00.
Shout out Tom Brady, who is just the hero of the hour and the greatest thing that I've ever seen this year. So,
did his best Jameis Winston impression last night. So yeah.
He threw for less yards than Jameis ever threw.
We're not going there right now, TJ. We aren't going there. This is Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving.
I was being thankful.
There's no Tom Brady slander.
I wasn't. One of the greatest performances I've ever seen from a Bucs quarterback. I mean, just spectacular.
I hate you, TJ. I hate you.
Spectacular. Just couldn't be more thankful for that. So
I have one more shout out before we get out of here. Shout out to TJ for letting me know that the Kush House opening was a formal dress up after I'd already gotten to Orlando. Yes. He let me know at about 7 p.m. on Friday for the Saturday event. So shout out to TJ.
That's when he let me know too. And luckily I live literally 10 minutes from the Kush House. So I go to my wife that Friday night. I'm like, babe, TJ just said it's like semi-formal. I'm like, luckily I own suits. I'm like, I'll wear a suit. She's like, why the hell didn't you tell us before now? Like, what is TJ's problem? But she dressed up. I dressed up. We had a great time. It was a beautiful opening event at the Kush House. So shout out to Silk, Kev, Newberg, all those guys. They put on a great event. But I was pissed that I did not get to just go casual to the event.
I found out about 4 minutes before I texted you guys and let you know, just so you're aware. My wife found out before I did. So, Freddie, got any shout outs and we'll get out of here?
No shout outs for me. Good.
I got the song.
Go ahead.
This is a shout out to Dabo Sweeney. Give me Cry Me a River by Justin Timberlake, and let's have a good night.